Thanks, man. Peace. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, the first time, man, I kind of, wow, man, I don't know what happened, man, but second time I went through it, I picked it back up. Notice how I improvised through it. When I started over, and I was able to pick it back up and finish it, you know, that's one of the skills that a jazz guitar player or any guitar player wants to have. That even if you forget a line, like if you're playing a song and you forget some of the tab or something, improvise through it, and if you can start the song over, but don't start the song over. Don't stop first. Don't stop. Just keep improvising through it, and then start the song over without them even realizing it. And you're not stopping. You just restart the song over, and you play the song, and you play it the right way, and the audience don't even notice it if you don't stop. You just improvise through it. See what I'm doing? See how I'm doing? Uh, a chop suey. No, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. I like that's a good practice hook right there. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. Wow, man. So I've been playing for over an hour now, and it feels good, man. I got to come back on here and play a little bit more, and that's what I wanted to do tonight is do it. Get back on here and play a little bit more. Holy word and all that religious jazz. Is that what this is, man? Like a religious jazz form? Maybe. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Yeah, and I just love playing jazz, man. It's a lot of fun. The mind is a tricky thing, the flesh mind. It can deceive us into thinking that there's no such thing as the spirit world. But if there's a such thing as this world, then there's probably a such thing as a spirit world too. We don't know because we're being deceived by the fleshly experience. I'm thinking maybe. What do you think? Some people automatically they get so smart. That's the problem with youth, though. I mean, I love youth. I wish I could have held on to youth forever, but that's the problem with youth. It deceives the mind into thinking, no matter how smart you become, you're still in the flesh, man, and you can still be killed in an accident, or something can happen to your brain, and you can lose your intelligence like that. So that's the physical world. That's the physical aspect of it. But the spirit is different than the physical, I think. I really believe that. I believe that we have souls. There's an energy force that keeps our bodies alive, and it's called our souls. And that we live after this fleshly experience is over. We live. So I really do think that it's important that we try to live a good life. Try to be nice to each other, and yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. Thank fine weather. I mean, this is something. This is a painful experience. I've been on a level where I was a genius, intellectual, and then I had something happen to me, and I lost that intelligence. So I know what it feels like. I know how the flesh can become weak. You know what I mean? And somebody might be the smartest person around one day, and then you might see them a couple of years later, and they maybe have brain damage or something wrong with them, and they're not smart anymore. And that's the sad thing about the being trapped in the mold of a human being, because the fleshly experience deceives us into thinking that we can be perfect, but we can't be perfect. We can never be perfect because we're not in a mold that's perfect. Our bodies are not perfect. So this is a very humbling experience. You might see me on here one day playing brilliant jazz, but one day I might come on here. I could get into an accident and it could damage my brain, and I might not be able to play anymore. It's a horrible thing. It's sad. It happened to Pat Martino for a while, and then he came back and he became a star again. He was fortunate enough to where he could at least come back and become a star again. You know, God bless him. God bless Pat Martino, man. Uh, I really, he was my number one jazz player when he was alive. My number one I think he's a legend. I still love his stuff, his music and stuff. But I'm saying when he was alive, he was my favorite jazz player when he was alive. You know, and he shared that knowledge with people. He wrote books and things like that. He did a lot of good because he wrote books and he shared that knowledge of jazz, what he knew, and he didn't have to do that. He could have died with his secret, and it would have been a lot. I wouldn't be playing like I do right now if he would have done that. If he wouldn't have shared his knowledge with me, I wouldn't be playing at this level because I wouldn't have been exposed to those what I'm saying, the jazz patterns and stuff. But he shared that with everybody. Thank God, bless him for sharing that with me, with everybody. All you had to do was buy his book, and I did. I bought his books, and that really helped me. In the 1980s, it helped me to get to where I could play well again. So I think it's pretty cool, man. Jazz is great music, man, but it is hard. It's something you really have to, when you're playing it, you have to think about it because you got all these chord changes and things like that. You have to know how to improvise over everything, and it's even harder when you're playing solo. I'm coming on here solo, and I have no backup music. So as you notice, if I make any little mistake, it kind of stands out real bad, like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? But what I try to do, the one thing that I learned when I'm playing the guitar is that if I make a little mistake, I improvise through it and I try to fit it into the song to where it's no longer a mistake. And you know what I mean? And it's a little trick I learned in jazz, and Martino was talking about that too. How you can take your mistake and you can turn it into something good by improvising through it, and then uh, going back to the original song and playing it. And a lot of times it'll work, and most of the time it works. And even playing solo, I learned how to do that. And instead of when I make a mistake, stop and say, "Oh, I messed up." Then everybody knows you messed up. But if you make a mistake and then you improvise through it and you start over without stopping, a lot of times people won't even catch that you made a mistake. That was the point I was trying to make when I was playing the solo to Falling in Love with Love. I can play that solo perfectly, but if I do make a little mistake, if I forget some of the solo, man, I just improvise through it and I go back and I start over and I get it right. You know what I mean? And that's good practice. Wow, for real? Is that serious, dude, or what? YouTube is gonna what? YouTube systems warning. This account will be permanently terminated in the next 24 hours due to community guideline violations. How? Is that serious, dude? How, man? What guideline? That's spam? Oh, man, that scared the crap out of me, man. I don't want my account to be uh, timid spam. YouTube would send you a notification, not like this. It's fake. Yeah, it has to be because they're doing it in the chat and everybody else. You all could see that. So if everybody else could see it, oh, that scared the crap out of me. I thought I was the only one that could see it. If I was the only one that could see it, then it'd be trouble, you know. Hey Jeff, how you doing, man? That kind of scared me because I don't want my account terminated, man. I could check community. I can check community. They would send me a notice, yeah, if that was true. Oh, somebody just did that goofing around. Wow, man. I mean, I like YouTube. I don't want to. All they have to do is like warn me, and I would take something off. If they found it to be offensive, I would just take it off. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that, Scott. Yeah, if everybody else seen it, YouTube's not going to do that. They're not gonna come in a chat where everybody else could see it. If only I seen it, I'd be scared because I figure it's real. You know what I mean? But everybody else seen that warning, so I was like, oh, okay. Wow, man. Yeah, I don't want to get my account deleted, man. They could give me a warning. Hey, if you don't take this or that off, we're gonna terminate your channel, I would take it off, man. If they sent me a message like that, Wheeler Walker Jr. That's a blues player, ain't it? I think I've heard of that name, Wheeler Walker Jr. I think I know who you're talking about. I'm not sure if it's him or not. Uh, are you talking about the guy that's hefty? He plays blues. He's real good. If you're talking about him, I think he's real good. He's an excellent guitar player. Yeah, I like him. I think I know who you're talking about. Is that the one you're talking about? He looks like he's kind of hefty built, right? He's a big guy. You talking about? And he plays blues. He's real good. Yeah, I like him. Wheeler Walker. I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about. Wheeler Walker Jr. Yeah, I like him. I know this real hefty guy. I've seen him a few times coming on YouTube playing blues, and he's very, very good. And I do think he's very good. There's a lot of good musicians that come on here. And it's you get such diversity. That's what I love about YouTube is you get players from all that play in all kinds of different genres and stuff. Do you like Tom McDonald? I haven't heard Tom McDonald, but I'm sure he's probably good. Scotland, yeah, peace, man. Scotland, go Scotland, man. Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah. Wheeler Walker Jr. makes good country songs with a funny premise. He's the like Weird Al, but country. Oh, okay. I got him mixed up with somebody else. Yeah, he's probably cool. I probably would like him. I probably, if I seen him, I probably like him. Yeah. There's a lot of good musicians out there, man. I mean, I respect everybody, man. There's so much out there, and I hopefully they come and come to my channel and they respect me and they see how I've actually gotten better doing this because this helps me to be more creative and stuff by playing live on here. I've checked out my guitar playing and I've actually gotten better. And I think that makes me feel good to know that I've actually improved since I've been doing this. When I first started doing it, I was like, and then it just started getting better and better because I get an audience, and it's like I want to try to be as perfect as I can. I want to sound as good as I can, and I notice I've actually improved on the guitar, and that's a real good feeling when you know that you're getting progress there. Yeah, that's why I came on here live doing this, man, because I wanted to find a way to improve, and it does improve your playing. If you play live, if you just come on here and you got no backup music, and you play live and you play different songs live, it's going to improve your ability, you know. And I've been playing mostly jazz on here, but I've become a better jazz player since I came on here doing these things. Yeah, so that's something that I always encourage other musicians to do, man. To do this, let's start a marathon, man. Just come on here and all our musicians start making live videos like that. It'd be cool, man. And just have fun. It's all about having fun, man. Um, Wonder what Matt would come up with. Matt Mancuso. I'd love to see that. I'm sure it'd be awesome. He's very awesome guitarist. I'm a huge fan of Matt's. I would like to see what he'd come up with. Though I think wow, he's great. I seen the video of him and his dad playing together, and wow, they sounded really good. They were playing all the things you are, and just about every jazz guitar player has their own version of that. My version kind of parallels Hank Garland's, but then I do my own thing. I got this thing when I'm playing music. A lot of times I'll cover it like an artist, a great artist, and then I'll start improvising over it and add my own improvisation to it. I'll embellish it, and I think that's pretty cool. That's what I did with that when I played in style of Larry Carlton. I took some of Guthrie Govan's licks, but then I took my own style and I did my own thing, went my own direction, and I like to do that a lot because it helps me with my skills too, my playing. What I can come up with, how I can create, and that's important, in music, what you can create. I think, that's really very important. Because I mean, if you anybody who goes out on their own, if they want to cut an album, man, they can't plagiarize. If they plagiarize, they're going to be penalized. They're not going to get any money for it. You know what I mean? So they can't just cover. They can't do like a copy album, copy another band if they want their own music. You know what I mean? So I want my own music, and I want to be able to do my own music too. Play other people's music and play my own music too. No, that he was jazz. Let me tell you a story about Hank Scott. Hank was jazz at first, but then he got into a car accident and he forgot how to play in a jazz style. So he started playing country. A lot of people don't know that about Hank. In the early years, he was a jazz player, and then he started playing country after that. Look up Hank Garland, All the Things You Are. This is before he got into a car accident. He was a phenomenal jazz player, but he got into a car accident and he got some damn brain damage, and it caused him to forget how to play in the style of jazz, because there's a certain way you got to play jazz, you know. And yeah, you can look it up. You can go on YouTube and look up All the Things You Are by Hank Garland, and listen to that. It's genius jazz. He was a phenomenal guitar player in jazz. And then he got into a car accident and it damaged his brain, and he started playing country. He could still play, but he could only do he for some reason he could only do country. He could only play the country in the country style, you know. So it is weird, man. I read the whole story about him, you know, what happened to him, you know, and I understand it because I had a stroke. And the opposite effect happened to me. I had a stroke way back in the 70s, in the later 70s, well, 77. And before I had a stroke, I never played jazz. I played rock and classical music, mostly hard rock and classical music. And then after I had a stroke, when I was recovering, um, I got interested in jazz, and I could play jazz. And it's weird, man. It's like your brain changes. Your brain can change when you get into an accident like that. So something happens to your brain, and you can change. And so I believe what he said. You know, I mean, I believe that story. I read that story, and I thought about that, and I was like, wow, that's pretty strange. You know, that he went from playing sophisticated jazz to sophisticated country. Yeah, but country's hard to play too. You know, I mean, there's a if you play the you know, progressive country guitar is very hard to do. You know, but a guitar player who could play just about any way he wanted to play was Roy Clark. Roy Clark was an amazing musician. He didn't get really the credit that he deserved. He was an amazing musician. You know, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Yeah, you can play it, man. I mean, if you ever need help, if you need help with anything, just let me know, and I'll try to show you some stuff. You know, I'm always trying to impart knowledge to other people who play the guitar, to try to help them to, you know, to become better at what they're doing. You know, if I can impart some knowledge to help them. You know, I've come on YouTube myself, and I found guitar licks and stuff like that that helped me to improve. You know what I mean? So um, there's people on YouTube. There's a lot of guitar players on YouTube that share knowledge. So if you wanna improve your playing, you can always find whatever you want. Just about whatever you want, you can find it on YouTube. That's what I love about YouTube, man. Is that you can find just about anything that you want on YouTube. And yeah, Roy Clark was he was an all around player though. He could do anything. If he wanted to play jazz, he could play jazz. He played everything, man. When I seen Roy Clark play Malaguena, I was like, what? You know, where he pops the strings and stuff. I seen him play that live, man, and I was like, that guy is just, he was a phenomenal guitar player. He was way ahead of his time. He was one of those guitar players who was way ahead of his time, Roy was. And, you know, he's a hard act to follow. and not just with the guitar. I mean, the man could play the guitar, he could play the banjo, he could play the mandolin, he could play the violin. They called it the fiddle, but fiddle you can call it fiddle, violin, whatever. He could play the fiddle. He was an expert, and anything he picked up, he was an expert. Anything that had strings on it that he picked up, he was an expert at stringed instruments. Man, the guy was great. Yeah, because Chet Atkins said if he had anyone to compete with, it was Roy Clark. Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, Roy played in so many different styles, man, and he could play anything he wanted to. If he really wanted to learn anything on the guitar, if he really wanted to play anything on the guitar, he could. He could just pick up that guitar and just play anything and be the top notch, one of the best in the world. He was a phenomenal guitar player, man. Yes, even Tony Rice said Roy Clark was a master. Yep, he was, man. He was. I don't know, man. He had just amazing gift for music that he just that not everybody has it like what he had. He had just it just seemed to come easy to him, but where we struggle, where the rest of us really struggle for a lot of things, he it came easy to him. Glenn Campbell was great. Yeah, Glenn Campbell was a great guitarist too. Roy Clark, Glenn Campbell. Um, Willie Nelson's good on guitar. He's a really good guitar player. So, yeah, these guys, man, they know how to play the guitar. They're really good. Yeah, yeah. I was a fan of Glenn's guitar playing. He's very good. Jim Stanford, the comedian. You ever hear Jim Stanford, the comedian, play the guitar? He was an expert guitar player. So yeah, there's there was a lot of them. Jim didn't make it as a guitarist. I always wondered why he didn't make it as a guitarist because he was a guitar master. He made it in comedy. Jim Stanford got rich from comedy. So I don't know, man. Life's funny, man. Sometimes it's hard to get noticed. Hard to get recognition. I never seen Julian. I got to check him out. I do like Tim Henson though. I think Tim Henson came out with something that nobody else was doing, and it's very hard to do. It's hard to play like he does. So I don't know about Julian. I got to check him out, but I know Tim Henson's very good. Julian Lage. I'm gonna look him up, man. I gotta check him out. Yeah, Julian Lage. I know. Matteo Mancuso. I'm a very big fan of Matteo Mancuso. He's a phenomenal guitar player. Um, yeah, newer guitar player. Well, he plays jazz too, and he's just like carrying the torch in jazz. He plays fusion and he plays jazz, and I think he's one incredible musician, man. He just like shines every time he plays. He shines. So, and the weird thing about this guy is that he plays with all of his fingers like this, and he like instead of using a pick, he uses his fingers, man. He can do impossible stuff. It's hard to copy what he does because he uses all of his fingers. He don't use a pick, you know. So it's not like if I was trying to play jazz, I can't do that. What he does, he just picks with his fingers like it's a I don't know, man. It's like it's a pick, man. And I don't know how he does that, man. He's great. I love his guitar playing. Yeah, yeah. Travis picking. I'm not really. I can do a little bit. I can do hybrid picking. Like if I got a pick, I can do like when I play that. So like the intro to Josie, which I'm not gonna play it, but that's got the hybrid picking right there. See what I'm saying? I like that intro. So I do. What I'm doing is when I'm playing, I'm actually hybrid picking there to get those specific notes. Mark Knopfler's out of this world great. Uh, Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits. I know exactly who that is, and he is a phenomenal guitar player. I seen him perform with Chet Atkins, and uh, oh hi, how you doing? How you doing, Waggy? Hi, peace. But I seen Mark Knopfler perform with Chet Atkins, and I was surprised, man. A rock guitar player that can keep up with Chet Atkins. He's a rock guitar player, but he could keep up with Chet Atkins. I was like, what? He's great, man. He's like Steve Howe, Steve Howe's a rock guitar player, but he can play like Chet Atkins. He can sound like Chet Atkins, man, and he's a phenomenal player. He can also sound like Les Paul. So I seen Steve Howe perform with Les Paul. It is phenomenal, man. He was an underrated guitar player, man. He was a really amazing guitar player. Steve Howe is a very amazing guitar player. I'm a huge fan of his, and yeah, I do like his playing. Larry Carlton, man, but Larry plays any way he wants to, man, including traditional jazz. Larry Carlton's amazing. Yeah, Mary Ford was good as well. Yeah, she was. She was an excellent guitar player. Mary Ford was him and Mary Ford used to they were a duet, and they would switch off playing the guitar. Yeah, she was very good. Yeah, Mary Ford was a very good guitar player, and they made it look so easy. And the way they played, man, it's phenomenal, man. It's hard to do. It's hard to play like that. Yeah, yeah. A lot of uh there's been a lot of good guitar players, really great guitar players. The guitar players that really influenced me was like Pat Martino, Wes Montgomery, Grant Green, got cats like that, man. Joe DiOrio. You can hear a lot of Joe DiOrio in my playing. People don't realize that a lot of when I'm playing like arps and things like that, that's Joe DiOrio coming out of me, man. So that's really the one I got. That style that I sound like when I'm playing the arpeggios and stuff. Joe DiOrio. So yeah, there's a lot. There was a lot of amazing guitar players that laid the foundation. George Benson, um, all these guys, man. I respect everybody. Um, that's true. That's true, Dan. Jesus does love us. But it's unfortunate that he had to go through what he went through. I feel very sad that a human being that they would do that to. He was in human form. That they would torture and murder a man like that. I think that's horrible. That what some human beings are capable of doing. I think it's very horrible, and I don't condone it. I don't watch horror movies. I don't like macabre. I don't like anything like that. I want to get away from all that. I associate that with hate. You know, destroying even the physical flesh, the destruction of the physical flesh. I associate that with hate. That's not love, and you know what I mean. He did. Jesus died because of us, and he came back from the dead. But Jesus didn't resurrect himself. You know that, right? Jesus was resurrected, but he didn't resurrect himself. His Father resurrected him. That's in the Bible. Look it up. That's in the Bible. So that's something that people need to understand. And Jesus is to us. He's like a God to us, but he is God's Son in heaven. I think it is that Jesus sits at the right hand side of God, and the Holy Spirit sits at the left hand side of God, and that's the Trinity. That's the Trinity in heaven. And yeah, I believe in the Trinity. I think the Trinity is awesome. I am a Christian. I believe that. So yeah, that's good, man. That's good, Dan. Always read the Bible for yourself, and and try to infer things for yourself, man. No matter what anybody tells you, God gave you intelligence to use it. Always try to research and figure out things for yourself. Oh yeah, I'm getting tired, but yeah, man, I've been up a while, but I got to get some sleep. But I'm glad to see everybody, man. That makes me feel good when people come and check out my music. Really, really, really makes me feel really good. You know, so I hope everybody's feeling good tonight. I wish everybody the best of luck in life. I love you all. Thank you very much for checking me out. I think you're wonderful. Oh, I love the peppers, red hot chili peppers, man. I love them. I think they're very good. Yeah, yeah. When I first heard them, I was like, yeah, that's a cool sound. They nailed a very cool sound. So that's a good band. Yeah, I like the chili peppers. Yeah, and that's cool stuff, ain't it? Yeah. So that was like the chili peppers came out when the grunge movement was going. I remember that. Yeah. Wow, man. I've been up a long time though. I got to get some sleep pretty soon in a little bit, but hey, it's good to see you. I really appreciate everybody coming in here, though, man. It makes me feel good. Oh man, I've been playing the guitar for a long time, on and off. I quit playing for a long time. After I had a stroke, it took me a long time to get to where I could play again. It really messed me up. My right hand was paralyzed for a long time. I didn't have any feeling in my right hand, and when I tried to pick, I couldn't. I couldn't. When I first came out of the hospital, after I had a stroke, I couldn't pick. I could do it up here, but I couldn't pick. I couldn't for some reason I couldn't use a pick. And later on though, I found a different picking style and it worked. And I got to where I could pick again. I could alternate pick again. So that was cool, man. It's just something you have to, like a rehabilitation. You have to fight to get it back, man. If you want to have it back. I read the story about I think it was Pat Martino. He had an aneurysm, and I think that's what it was, or something like that, and it caused him to lose his memory. And he forgot how to play the guitar. He forgot all about how to play the guitar. And his friends were playing his music to him, and he said, "Who's that?" He didn't know who it was, and they said, "That's you." And he didn't know how to make a chord on the guitar. It messed for a while. It messed him up. And he had to relearn everything. Mister Pat Martino did, but he did. And then made a comeback, and he became a star again. You know, so that was pretty cool story I read about Pat Martino. And I respect that guy was phenomenal, man. You're just not gonna get band. You're not gonna get guitar players like that anymore, man. I mean, they were one of a kind. George Benson, Pat Martino, Wes Montgomery, Joe DiOrio, Joe Pass. These guys, man. Uh, Grant Green, um, Pat Metheny, Larry Carlton. These are big names in jazz that I'm mentioning here. These guys are really, phenomenal. Johnny Smith. There was Johnny Smith. He was great. Stuff like that. Yeah, this is a Gibson Les Paul custom. Yeah. Yeah, it's my guitar, Captain. This is a Gibson Les Paul custom 1975 model. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, 1975 model. I got this guitar when I was 14 years old. My mother bought me this guitar. Um, I had worn down about four different frets in different positions. So they were warped. I had warped frets on the guitar. So I needed a fret job. And I got this guy to do a fret job. But when he did a fret job, he put the cheaper frets on there instead of the factory frets. And I was kind of perturbed about that because I would have rather had the factory frets put back on it. but it still plays okay, you know. Eventually, though, later I'm gonna have the professional frets put back on there and the humbucker pickups, and I'm just gonna have it refurbished. I'm gonna have it repainted and everything, you know, but I'm gonna have it done by the Gibson company. I'm gonna get the Gibson company to do it. I'm not gonna hire an outside source to you know, to do that kind of stuff because I want it done very. I want it to be perfect. I want this guitar to be like a brand new guitar, but it'll be better than a brand new guitar. You know why? Over the years, these Les Pauls, the wood gets harder over the years. Do you know what that means? When the wood gets harder, that means when the string vibrates, there's no vibration of the wood, and you get the true sound. The pickups pick up the true sound of the string. So that's why having a hardwood guitar is better because it's yeah, sustain is amazing, and it just sounds phenomenal, man. I mean, when you got a Gibson Les Paul, it just sounds phenomenal because the wood gets harder over the years. If you've got an aged Les Paul with brand new gear on it, it's going to sound better than a brand new Les Paul because the wood is going to be harder. It's going to be seasoned, and I played them. I've compared other Les Pauls to this one when I had the original factory frets, and this one sounded better. And I've played aged Les Pauls, and I've compared them to the brand new Les Pauls right off the factory, and you can tell the difference. You can. The aged guitar sounds better every time. You know, isn't that strange that how that works? You know, but that's because the wood keeps getting harder over the years. Yeah, I got this beard going, man. I got this beard going. I look different when I shave, don't I look like a different person when I shave. Yeah, my beard makes my face look fatter. I actually I actually have a thinner face than what it looks like on here. Yeah. Oh, you're a huge fan. Shout out your son who has cancer. His name is Nick Gers. It would mean a lot. Nick Gers, man. God bless Nick Gers, man. I pray that Jesus. Oh my God, I pray that the Lord heals your son. That your son gets through this cancer and somehow he ends up getting a full recovery and all that cancer's gone out of his body. I pray in the name of Jesus, man, that Nick Gers gets healed. That whether it's through the technology that we have or through divinity, I pray that he beats this cancer that's on him, that's come upon him. Cancer's a horrible thing. I wish we had a cure for cancer, man. Yeah, 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 man. I mean, I wish we had a cure. Don't you wish we had a? You know I do. I wish we could find a cure for cancer. That is a horrible thing. I lost my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law was an engineer for Boeing and Boeing. His name was Dan Bosnich. That was my brother-in-law, and I lost him in 2019. I lost him in 2019. He died from cancer. My sister lost her husband in 2019, Mr. Dan Bosnich. He died from cancer. He was a fantastic guy, uh, probably the best person I've ever met in my life. A wonderful human being, and unfortunately, he got that lung cancer. Lung cancer took him out, but he well, his soul is a phenomenal soul. I believe he went to heaven. Um, he was just a wonderful guy. Dan Bosnich was just a wonderful guy, and I am so sorry, that he's not with us no more. He was 67 when cancer got him. He was 67, so uh, that's too young. That's too young. Sure, Mike, go ahead. Tell us a joke. Sure, Mike. Mike, go ahead. What kind of bee is horrible at flying? What kind of bee is horrible at flying? Oh, I don't know. What kind of bee is horrible at flying? I don't know. What kind of bee is horrible at flying, Mike? I don't know. I give up. Lay down. Mike, tell us, yeah, man. I'm curious too, man. What kind of bee is horrible at flying? Go. Uh, what kind of bee is horrible at flying? A bumblebee. Because he bumbles, yeah. Okay. That doesn't. It bumbles. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get that, man. What? I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get that one, man. It doesn't make any. Man, what? Kobe. Kobe. I don't know, man. I don't know what that means, man. I got a lot of stuff, man. I was playing earlier. Um, I'm getting off of here in a minute, but oh god, man, like jazz, rock, jazz, straight jazz standards. I know a lot of rock tunes, like Creed, Stone Temple Pilots. If you're talking about rock, if you're talking about Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, all that stuff, and then I know how to play a lot of jazz standards like um, Falling in Love with Love. What was that other one I was playing today? Oh, um, Green Street by Grant Green, and a lot of stuff, man. I know a lot of stuff, man. Far West by Wes Montgomery. Sunny by Pat Martino. Olio by Pat Martino. George Benson. Breezing. Plus, I got a bunch of my own jazz tunes. I don't know, man. I know a lot of stuff, man. You know, so yeah, there's a lot, man. I know a lot. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be able to play like that. It's like jazz standards. I know a lot of jazz standards and stuff. You know, Who would make it to the North Pole first, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, or a happy lesbian? None of them, because none of them are real. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Uh, yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. All right. Well, at least it made sense. Oh, thank you. Thank you for subbing, man. Uh, Google Gaga. Google Gaga. Thank you for subbing. I'm going to go away your screen name, Google Gaga. Things. Thank you for subbing, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Um, I'm glad that I'm getting people who like my music. I've been getting a lot of people who like my music, and man, it just makes me feel good, man. Uh, to be to be playing the guitar, Um, yeah, I really like it. Yeah, I know a lot of jazz stuff. Come sunrise, when sunny gets blue. Oh my God, so much, man. I could go on naming the jazz numbers. I know. Yeah. Hey, peace, man. I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you for stopping by, man. I mean, I pop in and out of here all the time. I come on here playing music all the time. Everybody knows, I play all kinds of music. So, I really love playing music. If you check out my channel, I created what is called the modern beatnik sound. So, like, it's just cool. It's just cool. Video has like 47,000 views and almost 400 likes, and people like it and stuff. So I've been doing it for a little while, creating music and putting it on YouTube. It's a lot of fun, and I get people who like my music, and that makes me feel really good that I'm actually getting people who like my music. I mean, 47,000 views is pretty darn good, man, for a known namer. For somebody who doesn't have a record label. I don't have a record label or anything like that. But and for a guy my age to get views like that in jazz, that makes me feel good. A jazz song that got that many views, man. So when the levee breaks by Led Zeppelin, I know that one. I know a lot of Led Zeppelin, man. Yeah, the one I like to do when I'm playing jazz is No Quarter, because that's still kind of jazzy. The thing, if I'm making a jazz video, I don't like to mix it with regular rock, because it kind of blows the, you know what I mean? That one. Yeah, No Quarter. That's No Quarter by Led Zeppelin. So I play a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of good music, man. I know a lot of tunes, man. I literally one time played in a jazz club, so I literally learned about 200 jazz standards back then, man. And thanks, man, thanks. So I used to whip out jazz standards, just play one run after the other. Um, yeah, pretty much. But I was like, when I play jazz, it's like I'm either playing rhythm or I'm soloing, but I don't do both at the same time. Really, I don't play that style, but I love it. Like Joe Pass, I don't really play that kind of jazz. That's a different approach to jazz. I'm more like Pat Martino. Pat Martino was more like chord structures and soloing, whereas Joe Pass was like soloing while making chords at the same time, and that's kind of a different. It's very hard to do. Uh, but he played in a different style than me, though. It's not really my style of playing. I wouldn't do it if I could do it as good as him. I wouldn't do it, because that's not really my style. I mean, I love it, but that's not really my style. My style is it's like rhythm comping, and then coming along and putting in solos and stuff like that, and then going back to the rhythm and playing like that. That's how I like to play. So yeah, it's kind of fits my style. Kind of like I don't know, like Carlton or Pat Martino or Pat Metheny. Pat Metheny's kind of like that too, you know, kind of along those lines. Wes Montgomery, George Benson. Well, George Benson, sometimes though he does these really complicated chord structured solos, and that's kind of his thing. He's really great at that. So George is a phenomenal guitar player, legend. George Benson's legend. So, but yeah, there's different styles, man. My style more parallels, like, if you really wanted to compare my style with another guitar player who's great, Grant Green. I would say I have a style very similar to Grant Green. And oh, John Schofield. John Schofield. I also sound like him a lot of times when I'm playing. And I'm a huge fan of John Schofield's. I had somebody tell me I sound like him the other day when I was playing. I forgot what number. I was doing a jazz number, but oh, Green Dolphin Street or something like that. And yeah, that's the one I was doing. I was doing on Green Dolphin Street, and the person said, "Hey, that sounds like Schofield," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I do kind of sound like him sometimes, you know, when I play." So that's a compliment. If I sound like Schofield, that means I'm on the right track. Because John Schofield is an amazing guitarist. I love the way he plays. He's a legend. He's up there with the top of the cream of the crop. So yeah, I appreciate that. Oh man, it's good to come on here sometimes. You know, I've been playing Guns N' Roses. Yeah, I play Guns N' Roses. I'm not gonna do it on here though, because I'm like doing jazz. I might do it like my next video. I'll do like a mixed rock with it, but you know, usually I don't like to mix too much rock with my jazz because I want people to realize, you know, to like just hear what I do in jazz, you know, and kind of really get. It kind of ruins the mood, man. If you're playing jazz and then you play something like "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses, it kind of ruins the jazz mood. You know, I don't know why, man. It just seems like to upset the mood or something. But I'll come on here next time and play. I have done it before. Yeah, I love rock too. I love all kinds of rock. I was coming on here when I first started making videos. I was coming on here playing Black Sabbath and Guns N' Roses and different, you know, by different bands and stuff. But then I started doing my jazz thing. When I'm doing my jazz thing, I don't really like to mix rock with it because it's kind of ruins the mood of the jazz, you know. You know, so it's kind of like you got to do it. You got to transition it right, or it won't work. You know, it kind of blows the mood. You know what I mean? So, but I'm glad everybody's on here and checking me out, man. I appreciate that. You know, makes me feel good. Um, I suppose I could do one more number before I leave. One more jazz. I could do one more jazz number before I leave. Something that I created. That a long time ago when I first started playing jazz, I wrote this song because I was in a band called the Crossroads Blues Band, and somehow my singer got us a gig at the Grapevine because the lady that was working at the Grapevine, she thought jazz and blues were exactly the same thing, and they're not. So we got in there, and I was spur of the moment. I made up a jazz tune. It was right when I was first learning jazz, and it worked. People loved it, and I called it Jazz Train. So I'll do that one for you. I'll show you what This is the first jazz number I ever learned in my life, and it's something I created. You know. start over. I think the video, sometimes this video messes up. I've noticed that it cuts out. It makes it look like I'm messing up, but I'm not messing up. So, yeah, I wrote that one. To tell the story about that song. I went into this jazz club called the Grapevine. My singer went to the first. My singer went to the jazz club trying to get us gigs. It was in Illinois, and he told the bartender was deciding. The boss, the owner, gave it up to let the bartender decide what bands come in, and she didn't know the difference between a blues band and a jazz band. So my singer went into the bar thinking that that it was a blues bar. It's called the Grapevine. He was thinking that it was a blues bar. So he got us a gig there, and when I walked in, I thought everybody looked funny, because they were all dressed up and stuff, and the saxophone player walked up and said, "Okay, are you the jazz band?" I said, "No, we're a blues band." He said, "Oh my God." He said, "This is a jazz club." I said, "Well, we play jazz too." I lied. And I said, "Well, we play jazz too." And my singer's like looking at me funny. And I told my singer, I said, "Just go like this. Just keep going like this. And when I give you a cue, don't play anything, and I'll do this part." And I was just learning jazz. And so I came up with this lick, and I asked the saxophone player, I said, "Can you do this?" And he did it on the saxophone, exactly like that. And then we did it together, and it really sounded good, man. We did it together, um, and I just started improvising over it because I was learning. I had the Pat Martino books, and I was learning out of them, and I got that lick from Pat Martino. All I did is slow it down. That's a Pat Martino lick. See what I'm saying? So that's Pat Martino right there. So I just slowed it down and put like a jazz thing to it. See how I'm doing? Like that. And the saxophone player, he picked it up right away. He knew that lick on the saxophone. So we were doing that together, and I was improvising and stuff, and then the people loved it, man. So, and then we just started playing blues, and I announced over my guy. I said, let me say something to the singer, and I said, okay, we're really a jazz band, but we play blues too. I said that, I said we're Crossroads. Crossroads was the name of our band. I said we play blues too, so we're gonna play some blues for you tonight, and it worked. We started playing blues after that, and they dug it, man. They thought it was great, so um, it worked. It was surprising. And then later on, I went back to the Grapevine, and they said their guitar player quit, and they asked me if I would like to become the house guitar player for a while, and I said sure. And that's when I really started learning jazz standards and stuff like that. And I was learning that as I was going. They had a stand up bass player and a saxophone player and drums, and we just sit and play one jazz standard right after the other, man. It was good. It was good stuff, man. You know, so I miss doing that, and I was getting paid. I was getting paid to do that. A couple of hundred a week, and it was pretty cool, man. I was only making a couple hundred a week, but it was fun. I mean, I didn't get rich doing it. I made like 200. I played on the weekends. I made like 200 every time. 2 or 300. Sometimes like if it's a really good night, I get like 500 because I could keep my tips. Just me. You know what I mean? So it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun, man. I miss those days. Yeah. Nibus. I never heard of them, but I'm gonna look it up. I will look these people up. I'll look it up. Nibus. I'll look it up. Nibus. Ninjas are like pets. I don't know anything about that, but I know I'm on here just on the forum just trying to play jazz and stuff. Here and just kind of like playing music, man. That's what it's about, just playing music. But thanks for checking me out, guys. I really appreciate that, man. I'll look up that band. I try to look up these bands. give me suggestions of bands and stuff, and so so yeah, it's just yeah. I like coming on here. I appreciate everybody coming on here. I get people from all over the world. I have been lately. I've been getting people from all over the world that tell me they like my jazz and stuff, and I'm like, well, thanks. You know, that makes me feel good because that's what I am. I'm a jazz player. I've written literally a lot of beatnik tunes, man. The main tune that I always try to promote when I play it every video because I'm trying to promote it is the one that's just cool because that really is it epitomizes what I'm trying to do. You know, bring back the modern beatnik movement and things like that. There's a jazz group that has a song about the Garden of Eden. It's really niche, hard to find, so cool because the sax slithers down the trees. Hmm. About the Garden of Eden. I would like to hear that, man. Yeah, I would like to hear that. Heard on in Chattanooga. There's a jazz group that have a song about the Garden of Eden. I gotta look that up, man. Is it on YouTube though? I heard it on a Chattanooga station in Chattanooga one night. Cool, man. Burke Milton, he's good. Burke Milton, I gotta check him out. Burke Milton, yeah. Wow, man. Yeah, I love saxophone. I wanted to play the saxophone, but I could never do it. You know, it was one thing that I tried the saxophone. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get any sound to come out. Yeah. So I'm a guitar player, man. I remember one time I was in a music class and uh, I was trying to play the saxophone. And I was blowing in that thing. I couldn't get a sound to come out of it, not even a sound. And this little tiny teenage girl comes in and she walks up. You do it like this. She's like playing all this sophisticated jazz. And she said, it's easy. And I was like, maybe for you it is, not me. She was great. You know, she was playing very hard jazz on that saxophone and she said it was easy, you know, and I'm like, maybe for you, you know, but for me it's not easy, you know. So but I do love the instrument. I've always loved the sound of the saxophone. I think a saxophone has that characteristic jazz sound that you just can't get with you know without. Personally, if I can form a band this summer, I'm hoping to pick up a saxophone player. If I can get a saxophone player, I'm gonna be so happy because yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I want keyboards. I want a keyboard. I want a keyboardist. I'm not just gonna play straight jazz. I'm gonna play a combination of jazz and rock. But I'm gonna kind of make sure everything. We got to make sure everything fits. You know, so that we sound good. So that you know people in a good mood and stuff with the music. So it's gonna it's tricky finding a good set list, you know, to play in front of people if you mix two different genres like that. But it's possible, especially the Steely Dan stuff. The Steely Dan stuff goes over well with anybody because Steely Dan incorporated, you know, jazz with rock. He mixed jazz with rock, and it worked for him, you know. So I'm hoping to do something like that, and Fleetwood Mac. It works well with Fleetwood. Believe it or not, Fleetwood Mac goes well with jazz. You know, I played in a club one time, and I had a singer. She sang like Steve. She sounded sort of like Stevie Nicks, and we were doing Fleetwood Mac tunes, and um, she sounded great, and it worked. And I was playing jazz too, and we're like, so Fleetwood Mac goes well with jazz. I don't know why, but it just does. It goes well with jazz. So I thought that was pretty cool. I never knew that, and so I actually played out, and I we were playing Fleetwood Mac stuff with the jazz, and it actually worked. So people really enjoyed it. Stevie Nicks is awesome, man. She's like one of the best. She had a characteristic style about her that yeah, she is awesome. She is awesome, man. Yeah. And I went to see I went to see Fleetwood Mac back in the '70s when they came out with the Rumors album, and they were just phenomenal. They just blew me away. And the thing about a Fleetwood Mac concert when they were doing the Rumors album, even after the show, you walk away smiling because you can just feel that music just emanating in your body, and it's just like you can't believe that a band can be that good. You know what I mean? That's the way I felt. Had Lindsay singing, Stevie Nicks singing, and Christine McVie. So it was a really good experience for me to see them. I'm a very adamant fan of them to this day. I think they were among the best bands that ever existed in history. I think they were wonderful. You know, so I don't think music like that could ever be repeated. Ever. I don't think anybody could repeat what they did because it was just so good. Hey, how you doing, Jalissa? Hi. Shout outs to Jalissa. Hey, peace. Hey, all right. Right. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. I've been playing jazz. I'm gonna title this video Sunday Night Jazz 2. That's what I'm gonna put Sunday Night Jazz 2, so you can come back and watch the whole video. I played jazz for over an hour, for like an hour and a half. I was playing straight guitar without stopping. So there's a lot of my guitar music on here. If you wanna check that, I gotta be leaving pretty soon. But yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. How you doing, Carlos? All right. It's good to see everybody. Anthony, Steely Dan is underrated, and yeah, the magic of the '70s and once in a lifetime. Yeah, Steely Dan was a phenomenal band, man. I was a huge fan of theirs, and they could rock, man. They really could rock too. You get Black Friday and sounds like Black Friday and Josie and uh, Kid Charlemagne and Take Me Alive and just uh, Do It Again, Get Back, Jack, Do It Again, that kind of stuff. Man, that's a I'm a huge fan of theirs. They were like this untouchable band. They were so good. So it's cool, man. When I heard them, and I actually went to see them before, and I was not disappointed. They were top notch musicians. That's the thing about Donald, the leader of the band. He would get top notch musicians to come into the band, and he always made sure that the music sounded tight. You know what I mean? So every time they played their live shows, every time they played out, he made sure that everything sounded perfect, and the studio work too. So, you know what I mean? So, I really, yeah, I'm an adamant fan of Steely Dan's. There will never be another Steely Dan. They did so much in music. So, I think that it's good that I see a lot of young people playing music, and when I see these young bands and these young musicians out there doing it, it makes me feel good. And it's good to know that there are guitar players who are carrying on the torch of jazz, like Matteo, Mancuso. I think he's carrying on the torch of jazz, and I think that's really good. It's good to see young people out there getting who are interested in jazz, who play jazz, and of course rock too. Rock these are evolving, never-ending, continually evolving um, genres of music. You can always you can always evolve with it, and modernize everything for the time. And that's what I like about jazz is like way ahead of its time, and it can always there's so much you can do with it, man. You know, and even the other genres. When I seen Polyphia, I thought, that, hey, yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Tim Henson playing God. Of course, everybody knows that's phenomenal what he did. He come up with a style that nobody else was doing. Different style than mine. We have completely different styles. But he is good for what he does. He's very good for what he does. And that's a good thing, man. Diversity is always good in music. We want to have a lot of diversity and people playing different ways and things like that. Um, so it's good. It's good. It's always good to that when music evolves, it's always good that it evolves, and keeps growing and keeps going. When music just keeps going, we don't want anything to be stagnated. We always want to try to improve on music and come up with new sounds and things like that. So that's one of the things I like about the musicians that I see now. Uh, but yeah, it's just like um, a mature type of music. Jazz is more of a mature type of music, and it takes intelligence to play it well. You know. Anyway, I love everybody. I appreciate you all for coming here and checking me out. It makes me feel really good that you come on my forum and you check out my music and stuff. And I get, like I said, I get people from all over the world that comes, and I love you all. I appreciate that you come here and you like what I'm doing here because it's hard. Let me tell you, it's hard. It's hard to it's hard to be it's hard to come on a live forum and just have a guitar with no backup, no band, just me doing it. Very hard to do. And the good thing about doing that, practicing that way, and I try to encourage other guitar players to do it, to get good at that, where you can entertain people where it's just you, without backup, no backup. That's cheating. Yeah, it has to just be you and your guitar. When you play like that, if you get to where you can play like that and play well, when you do get with your band, you're gonna even be better. You're gonna sound even better with your band. Because if you can entertain people with just your guitar, then you're going to sound even way better when you get into a band or if you have backup music. So this is something that people need to look at. Other musicians. I'm hoping to start a trend now where the musicians will come on here. Guitar players will come on here. Just them. No backup music. Backup music is cheating. Just the musician and saying, hey, look, this here's what I can do. And show everybody what you can do. Just you. That's the hardest way to play. That's the hardest way to entertain people, where it's just you, because any little mistake that you make is going to stand out, you know. And so you have to really get it tight when you do that, to get people to like you. And so far, I've been getting a lot of people from. I've had people from Germany, Japan, Scotland. Um, Shout out to Scotland, Ireland. Oh man, all over the world. Spain, Portugal. Um, different places like that. Africa. Everywhere. Everywhere. I've had people. Afghanistan. I have people come on here from Afghanistan, and just like all different ethnic, ethnicities coming on here checking out my music, man. And God loves us all equal. We're all equal, and I love everybody, man. And I'm glad that that makes me feel good when I got somebody that is coming from another part of another country, that comes here and likes my music. That makes me feel really good, because it's something that I'm looking forward to doing. I'm hoping to do that. You know, I want to reach viewers all over the world if I can. To come check out my jazz, man, and say, hey, man, look, this is what I can do. As a guitar player, we are equal. Not. I'm not talking about like in our. We each have our own individual talents and stuff. But what I'm saying, when I say equal, Samuel, I say every human being is of equal worth. every human being is of equal worth. You know what I mean? Um, you know, like uh, somebody Greek is no better than somebody who's Arabic or African or American or from Scotland or from Australia. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter where you're from, man. We're all human beings, so everybody is of equal worth. We just have different talents. We have different talents. I can't play basketball like Michael Jordan. Okay, so athletically, I'm not equal to Michael Jordan. But as a human being, as having worth as a person, I am equal to him. I'm not above him. I'm not below him. I am of equal worth. My life is worth just as much as his life, and his life is worth just as much as my life. This is how I view life. So it doesn't matter ethnicity, your ethnic background doesn't matter. What matters is that you're a human being. This is how I look at human beings. Yeah, thanks, Samuel. Yeah, that's what I mean by equal worth. I'm talking about the worth. I'm not talking about equal in talents. We all have talents and diversified talents, you know, in different areas. And some people never. It's sad that some people never find their talent, but everybody has some type of talent, you know, that they can excel in that talent. You know, um, we're not equal in that way. In that way, the people have diversified talents. Like I said, I couldn't do kung fu like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's talent was kung fu and acting. Okay, and dancing. I couldn't dance like Bruce Lee. You know what I mean? I couldn't play basketball like Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Or you know, things like that. But I can play. You know, I play the guitar quite well. That's pretty much my talent is playing the guitar. I play the guitar quite well. But as far as like, you know, equal, it's everybody has their own art. You know, or everybody. If you find your art, some people never search to find their art, but everybody has a talent for something. Every single person on this planet has some kind of talent that, you know what I mean. But I'm not talking about equal in that way. I'm talking about equal as far as the value of the person. I'm a human being. You're a human being. I'm no better than you, and you're no better than me. We're both human beings. You know what I mean? That's how I view life, man. I don't go by skin tone or no kind of crap like that. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, yeah. So it's like some people do, man. They go by that, but I don't go by that. I think that the value of the person is just that they're a human being. You know, we evolved, we changed through evolution anyway. We started as one race, but evolution changed the way we look. You know, different niches that people did change the way they look. You know, so we all have 46 chromosomes. You know, we're human beings. That's what we are. So that's how I feel about it. You know. But I do find it interesting. I would like to go to different countries. I'd like to visit Australia. I would like to go to Spain. You know, countries where it's safe though, and I won't get killed. I don't want to get killed just for going to the country. My son, when he was in the military, my oldest son, he said he loved Germany. Um, and we're not German. We don't have any German blood in us. But I you know, I respect them. I love them. They're good people. You know, I'm just ethnicity doesn't matter. But I would like to go to Germany. And my son Tim said you know, he lived in Germany when he first went in the army. He lived in Germany before the war with Iraq broke out. He didn't know there was going to be a war. He went in the army before about almost 2 years before the war broke out. He didn't even know there was going to be a war. So, and he was in Germany. He lived in Germany for a long time. Friedberg, Germany. That's where he lived. Friedberg, and that's right next to Rhine Main and all those different places in Germany. You know, and my son loved Germany. He said Germany was a that part of Germany was a very beautiful place to live. Yeah, yeah, it is, man. Germans are. Yeah, they are. I guess, you know, I always heard that too, that they're very hardworking. I would like to visit all these different countries though. I'd like to visit countries where they have peace though. I don't want to go to a country where I could get kidnapped and killed. I don't want to do that. But I'd like to go to Spain. I'd like to go to Ireland. I'd like to go to Australia. Um, different places like that. Scotland. I'd love to go to Scotland. And just to visit and sightsee and meet different people and things like that. Just a life experience. I think it would be cool to visit different places. I'd like to go to Italy, France, different places, and just in Germany and all the. I said Germany. I think, I would like to, but I'd like to go all over the world. Put it that way. I would like to travel all over the world. Japan. I'd love to go to Japan. You know, China, the part that's not, where I don't have to worry about being killed. I don't want to go to China and get, you know, get killed because they don't like me. But some of them might not like me because I'm American. But I don't have anything against them. I love Chinese people. I love Chinese food. I love Chinese culture. You know, but not everybody thinks that way, man. You go to some countries, man. It's dangerous. Some people are crazy. Hey, how you doing, Frosty? Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Hi, thanks, thanks. So it's good to see everybody here. It really makes me feel good that people are coming on my channel and commenting. And I've had people from all over the world, uh, even Japan and everywhere. I think everywhere. So far, I think I've had people from all over the world, man, coming and watching my guitar playing and liking it and stuff, and that makes me feel good, man, when people like my guitar playing, because that's the one thing that I love to do. I can play the guitar for hours and hours and hours and hours. I can actually play the guitar. I could sit and play the guitar for 20 hours straight if I wanted to, you know. Um, when I was in a blues band, when I was in Crossroads Blues Band, many times we'd do gigs and we'd start at 8 o'clock at night and just play all the way through until like 4 o'clock, 4 and 5 o'clock the next morning, man. And I would be so tired. No, I would be so tired that I would be tired. And back then I drank, I would be tired and drunk and, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, I drank when I was in the Crossroads Blues Band. I did drink, so I would get so tired and drunk, and I don't encourage people to drink though, because drinking's bad for you. Drinking causes I now we know that drinking, even beer, is not good for you. It's even known that beer causes high blood pressure and all that stuff, man. And they used to think that beer was good for you, but it's not good for you. Germany. Hey, thanks for showing up. Hey, I was just talking about Germany. I always wanted to go there. My son lived in Friedberg, Germany for a couple of years, and he loved it there. He said it was a very beautiful place, and he said the people were very friendly, very nice people. So I always wanted to go there. To visit and everything. That would be cool, man, to go to Germany. Another place I always wanted to go is like the Netherlands. I always wanted to visit the Netherlands. I want to go to Germany. I want to go to Scotland. I want to go to the Netherlands. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to Italy, France, places like that, and check it out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I do, but not with a setup. I don't have any distortion. I know how to play Voodoo Child, but I'd have to have a wah pedal for that, and I don't have one right now. Voodoo Child does not sound good without a wah pedal. I don't think so. It's got you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's a good song. I do know how to play it. I used to play it all the time. So anyway, I got to get off here. I got to let my dog out. He's going crazy, and I got to get some sleep. I got to get out of here and get something to drink and stuff, get some water and stuff. But uh, yeah, man, yeah, it's a good song. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming and checking me out, man. I really appreciate it. I unfortunately got to have to go now. I've got to eat. I got to get some sleep and stuff like that. Good night. Thanks for visiting, Bear Down. Thank you for visiting. Stay blessed. You too. You stay blessed too. God bless you. Thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate it. Hi, Timmy. How you doing? Good, good, man. You're good. I love from the heart, man. I love you all. Thank you for showing up, man. Thank you for checking me out. And I'm gonna leave this video up. I'm on the title of this video. Be looking for it. Is Sunday Jam Part Two? Because I got a Sunday Jam Part One. This is gonna be Part Two. Sunday Jam Part Two. So be looking for that. Okay, guys. Well, live Sunday Jam Part Two. That's what I'm gonna call it. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off here and thank you very very much for showing up. I appreciate it. I love you all. I love you all back. Thank you so much for checking out my guitar playing. I really appreciate that and the comments and everything and the likes. Okay, thanks. Have a good night.